found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out. Lightning in a bottle, I think I just found my perfect sound. Can you see the fire in my eyes? Bitch, it's burning out.
Yo, how you living, how you feeling, how you doing? It's First Choice Fantasy, and we are back today with our Week 9 start-sits of the NFL season. Boys, how did we do last week? Do you guys have any quick summary?
I know I didn't do very well.
I did pretty solid. I'm pretty sure I did pretty solid. Brandon missed a few. I was
Looking
particularly happy to get him with the Kirk Cousins pick. But
Did
Donald
Cousins
Mullins-
do? Yeah, Cousins didn't do
well,
good because
they had
Dalvin
4
Cook did it all.
touchdowns. I was going to say, he had a 50-yard pass to Cook, so that probably helped a
Cook's a
little bit, but I'm
fucking
pretty sure he
god.
had like 100 passing yards.
He had 14 passing attempts. He was
How many
14
yards did he have?
11, 160 yards and a touchdown.
So what, like 11 points? 10 points?
Yeah,
Oh
10.4. I mean, as a quarterback perspective, he did great. But
And-
fantasy-wise,
Yeah.
not very good. I
So
mean,
he did
you don't-
good if he was like your backup tight end.
You can't pick these picks and be like, well, I'm not going to pick Ryan Tannehill because Henry could score like 4 touchdowns. I mean, that's a possibility. but-
Sometimes you got to do that. I sat Cousins. So does my reasoning just go out the window there?
Yep.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. The fluke.
Was.
Got lucky this week. All right. What do you should say,
All right.
Ryan Tannehill? Where do we have Tannehill listed?
Tannehill this week?
He's a sit for Ed.
Nah, you know that's what we were hopping into. What else you got, Ed?
Well, start-wise, I have Justin Herbert, the god, against the Chargers. Fantasy-wise, he's been godly. Like, there's no other way to look at it. He's been godly. Come on now. I think he scored like 20-plus maybe. I might be incorrect about that, but 20-plus in every single one of these games. Rushing, he's great. Yeah, God, in case, yeah, good note, Brandon. He's a god. The Raiders' secondary is poop. I think the Raiders' defense is poop. I don't know if the Chargers win this game, but I do think Justin Herbert's going to put up fantasy points. I mean, they've been struggling to win games lately, and they choked that last game, but they still put up 30 points, and Justin Herbert put up fantasy points. So all you really need from Justin Herbert is fantasy points. Fuck a win.
I think they're the first team ever to blow 4 straight 20-point leads.
I believe it.
That's hilarious.
Who
Which is
held
funny,
that
'cause the
record? Atlanta?
Probably.
I just like that. Like the story last year with the Chargers was they lost like 7 one-score games. So,
Yeah.
we're gonna have some regression to the mean this year.
Nope.
No, not at all. You
When
guys,
you can't finish, you can't finish.
I don't know. I mean, I guess it's best that it's the Chargers that do this because they lost all their fans when they moved to LA. But
Well, they didn't really have many fans in San
wherever the
Diego.
hell
Let's
they
be
were.
real.
Whatever they did, it cost them a lot of fans I've never seen. So it's good that the 17 fans they have left.
I think Herbert might bring some fans to
I agree.
Chargers because, I mean,
Hold on.
I
Are they
watch
in LA
Herbert
now?
and I'm excited.
They're in LA now, right?
Yeah.
I believe they are, yeah.
Well, I just don't know about that. The Rams made the Super Bowl. No one gave a fuck about them.
Well, their quarterback's Jared Goff.
They
Yeah.
made the Super Bowl.
But it's not
Well-
that fascinating, you know what I mean? The more fascination laid with Sean McVay whenever they did get to the Super Bowl. It wasn't really the players, you know what I mean? Like, the defense obviously had big names and stuff, but
Here's the thing, though. The Warriors, like, their bandwagon didn't quite explode until they started winning. Steph Curry was really good about the moment he stepped on the court and, like, was healthy. But, like, they didn't erupt. You know, you didn't see Warriors jerseys out here until they started winning titles. So
that's fair. That's a good
Herbert's
point.
I don't know if Herbert's going to bring the torchbearer. I don't know if he wins a Super Bowl or two, maybe they'll get another 12 fans. But
Well, speaking of torch, they do have the Olympics in LA, I think, in like 2026. So maybe Herbert's in the Super Bowl the same year as that happens. Who knows?
You
he
know,
can be in the Olympics, too. I guess you called him God, so he can do it all.
yeah, pretty much. You can walk on
Olympic
water.
event and an NFL quarterback in the same day.
Yeah. Gold medalist. All right.
Speaking of
Brandon.
superhumans,
No, he's not a superhuman.
Then why do you start?
Cam
Why
Newton's
is he
my
your starter?
start
Why is he
strictly
your
because the New York Jets defense is atrocious.
I think
He can- Cam Newton
mispronounced
can be,
Jets.
huh?
The entirety of the Jets.
Oh, yeah, I said the defense. No, the entire team is garbage.
They are
Okay.
atrocious down to the water boys, down to the cardboard that is the popcorn containers are
Just
made out of.
imagine you're a Jets player out on the field and the water boy runs out like spilling water everywhere.
Trips.
He goes to squirt water in your mouth and it's like dirt water.
or it's some of that shitty tap water where it kind of tastes
Yeah.
like metal. What is this? Oh, it's the finest water around, straight out of the faucet.
No, this is going to be a redemption
happening.
game for Cam Newton losing the game last week. That's the way I see it. I personally think Newton's washed, but I mean, if you still have him on your roster,
That's right.
I mean, this is the week to start him against the Jets. You don't need to be a superhuman to go against the Jets. You can be anyone.
You can also be anyone that had
Yeah.
success against Dallas, so that's why I'm going to go
Yeah,
with Ben
that's-
Roethlisberger.
Yeah.
Not a whole lot more needs to be said there. Although the fear with that is that James Conner just takes 35 carries for an infinite amount of yards
Yeah.
and all of the touchdowns.
Well, if they're anything like the Eagles, where they see success and they're just like, ah, let's do the other, pass the ball.
Hopefully he won't get a Kyle coupon. He was also my sit of the week.
Call coupons.
You don't know who that is, then you must not be a fan of the NFC least. Anyway, Brandon, who's your sit?
My set's Drew Brees, second week in a row, and
The Buccaneers.
against the Buccaneers. Yeah, that's right.
They look pretty vulnerable through the air. That's scary.
Yeah, they did last week against. They got beat multiple times from Slayton, but Daniel Jones just couldn't connect. Yeah,
Funny
kind of rethinking this sit now that I'm looking at it.
Oh, too late. It's up there. That's
Oh,
the
no.
sit. We got Ryan Tannehill, Drew Brees, and Kyle Coupons.
I'm trying to think of who
The
what
starts
other
of the week.
all the other bad matchups are.
There are no
Not
good or
that
bad
bad.
matchups. Everything's just mush.
Yeah,
Everything.
it's kind of like
What it is.
it's either really good matchups or like, matchups.
Talk about these running backs. Brandon, I already know yours is going to miss because been there, done that.
My running back start is Justin Jackson.
We got a lot of
against
James.
the Raiders. Yeah, really. Justin Herbert, James Conner, Justin Jackson.
I just mean these running backs. I'm going with my start. I'm going with David Johnson because it shouldn't take a scientist to figure out that volume plus Jacksonville's defense generally equals success.
It's your
Sure.
favorite player, isn't it, David Johnson?
Unfortunately, I own him in a league now, so
You do indeed, and you need a win.
I guess that's not unfortunate if he does well for me. Then I can take something out of it.
Fair.
That's the lesson for today. I feel like this list has two guys on it that don't underestimate volume.
Yeah, James Conner is the other one. Plays Dallas this week, and like Alex said previously about the Steelers possibly having James Conner just destroy the Cowboys' defense, I think it's going to happen. So that's why he's a start this week for me.
Now,
It will happen. I'm just hoping it happens
Now-
through the air as well.
my concern with that is that the Steelers are just going to get out to such a big lead. They just start sending out like backups. The backup running back. Keep James Conner.
It's going to be the
fresh.
Benny Snell game.
But he's okay. It's
I could
possible.
see it. I could really see it.
Yeah, I can see that.
Just Connor's history, although Connor could be the one scoring the whole time in the first quarter and then have him sit.
Connor a free agent after this year.
Yeah.
I believe so, yeah.
Maybe they'll just throw him out there 30 times anyway. Who cares?
True.
Free agent. Get out there, James.
This is
Get
true.
them points.
I wouldn't be too concerned about If you're a fantasy owner, you can't think of
You
a
can't really
good
think that far, and I can't be like, well, I'm going to start this guy because his team's not going to be losing.
like
They're going to
last
be
week.
losing.
Like last week, if you would have been like, well, Patrick Mahomes going against the Jets, I can't
They're gonna
start
pull
him,
in the
and
second.
then you pull. Yeah, you can't look that far into it.
That would have been bad. That would have been bad. All right, moving to the running back sits. I have the Bills running backs against the Seattle Seahawks, who Seahawks have a pretty good defense. We know this. Well,
Pretty
running
good
wise.
rushing defense.
Yeah, rushing defense. The Bills running backs have been here or there, honestly, and Zach Moss has really been the one to hit whenever the running backs do hit, and it's solely based on touchdowns or just the touches that he gets are much more valuable than Devin Singletary's. So I would probably say to sit Singletary regardless of what happens, but I'm going to go with Zach Moss grouped into that just based on matchup wise, and I don't really have a good feeling about this matchup.
Yeah.
I had a great feeling about Moss last week. Didn't act on it. Started Lamont P. Ryan anyway, but then I lost by 60 points, so it really didn't matter. So I didn't feel bad about it.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have helped anyway. The Garoppolo start boned me as well.
How many points did he get?
2. Actually, no, 1 point, like 5-6 or something like that.
So what you're saying is Kirk Cousins would have been a better start last week.
Ooh.
I still would have lost by 55. So, you know who would have been a better start? My start of the week, who I don't remember.
My start of the week was Jimmy G, so that's rest in peace.
You were
pretty
Joe
sure-
Burrow.
Yeah, he had.
So yeah.
I don't think he exploded by any means, but he was like
22 points, I think.
That's good. Yeah.
For one league, 22 points. That league scoring is a little different, so.
wouldn't have been angry about that. But hey, what are you gonna do? Also, on a side note, my state of the week at running back this week is Jonathan Taylor, and as a double side note, what the fuck's going on over there?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean,
They said he was hurt, but they also said he wasn't. They didn't realize that until after the game. So maybe that was just limiting him. So they pulled him because he sucked, but he sucked because he was hurt. But either way, they're playing Baltimore, so I don't really feel good about that.
Yeah.
yeah. So rough.
The Colts are just the most frustrating team right now for me. I hate it.
I mean,
Just looking at Jonathan Taylor, like he looks like he should be out on the field as a workhorse.
Yeah.
And then you get a matchup where it's one of the worst run defenses in the NFL, and you trot out Jordan Wilkins. Wilkins wasn't
I
even.
mean,
He was a
in their defense, it worked, and like I
String.
said, Taylor might have been hurt to a degree that was limiting his ability.
yeah, Wilkins is
I-
pretty.
Yeah.
I don't even know if I believe that.
Well, I mean, he said he was hurt, I believe, so. Because the
Oh,
team
maybe
said that
he's
as well.
just trying not to look like he's been benched for Jordan Wilkins.
mean,
I wouldn't
when you
like-
get
I
11
wouldn't want that
carries for
luck.
22 yards, you know, you.
Yeah.
And then, speaking of another rookie running back and just the worst situation, DeAndre Swift, he's my sit against Minnesota. I mean, it's not even a matchup thing. It's a team-oriented thing. I mean, last week he got 61% snap share and touched the ball only 9 times. So like snap share don't even matter in this situation. So
They're trying to keep him fresh.
yeah, keep them fresh for their off season that they're not going to make the playoffs.
It was like
So-
get blown out by Phil Rivers.
Good luck with that. Lions and the Colts, they frustrate me.
Big
And you'll know how much in
Jackass.
the next episode. Shout out.
Shout out. All right. I suppose we will dive into the wide receiver position. Start
Who?
time. Who am I starting at the wide receiver? I'm starting Marquise Brown against the Colts. My logic behind this, well, initially it was Jerry Jeudy against Atlanta. But you'll see in a few seconds somebody else has him. But I shifted to Marquise Brown against the Colts because Honestly, it was due to the fact that Darnell Mooney had one of his best games against the Colts, and I kind of compare their size and their ability. Obviously, I'm not saying Mooney and Marquise Brown on the same talent level, but just overall, I guess, what they look like and how they play. And that's why I made the comparison. I think Marquise Brown is going to have a good game after he came out and said, "You don't even use your soldiers, and I'm a soldier, so use me." So I think they're going to use him like a soldier, and he's going to go off this week against the Colts. So it's an emotional and logical start here, Marquise Brown.
Are you implying he's going to shoot at the Indianapolis Colts?
If that's what they want him to do, yeah.
He's a soldier. He's
Alright.
going to.
Maybe he's the hammy sniper. Maybe he's been sniping all these
I
hammies.
guess if I'm starting a cartel, I'll be sure to give Marquise a call.
Marquise.
Now, we mentioned Jerry Judy. Now, which one of us has him?
I
Give me a
do.
hint. It's not me.
It's me. Over
That's
here.
our second hint. It's Brendan.
Over here. Jerry Judy against Atlanta. I have a good feeling about this Broncos matchup against the Atlanta Falcons. I even went almost as far as making Drew Lock my start of the week. But then I saw Cam Newton and I figured, well, I guess at some point in his career he's proven that he's capable, so
Hater.
for sure.
For sure.
No, Jerry Judy against Atlanta. I think this will be a good matchup. Last week, Judy, he got one of his most. Well, no, it wasn't one of the most. It was the most snap percentage with 89%. So I like that trend. Keep it going up. Although they were behind most of last week's. That threw me off.
Sorry.
No, you're good. The Broncos were behind most of last week's game, so this could just be a result of that. But hopefully, this is a trend upwards of making Judy their guy who's out there for 90% of the game, because that's the guy who they drafted him to be, and that's the guy who he should be.
He's good enough to be that guy, so be that guy.
Yeah.
They're going to put Deshaun Hamilton out there instead.
Yeah, he played like 90% of the snaps, I think, even last
Well,
week.
he's been with the organization. He's been proving himself in practice. No,
What?
these teams, and just like you don't, just don't. It's like I don't know if it's your loyalty to these players that are like not as skilled as these players who are getting drafted so high. But come on, at some point you just gotta move on.
You got to earn it. Speaking of earning it, so it's nothing to do with anything. My start is Deontay Johnson. I'm not going to beat this. We're not going to beat this horse anymore. Just know that one of us is going to be wrong because it's 3 Steelers starts. So.
All Deontay Johnson has earned is a sit.
Oh, if he's being your sit, then trade him to me in fantasy football.
Ooh.
JK.
I love Deontay Johnson. I hope he goes off. But the problem with Deontay is that he keeps getting hurt, or all of a sudden they use Claypool, and then they don't use Claypool, and then they use Claypool. And
Deontay was on the field the whole game last game. He just didn't get targets for some stupid reason. It's probably because Marlon Humphrey was following him or some shit, because even the Ravens know he's their best receiver.
yeah, he is fun.
But he's playing against Dallas, so even if Dallas has somebody follow him, that's not very intimidating.
Yeah, who is their best corner now?
Probably Diggs. He's still prone to getting beat like a freaking drum.
Like a drum.
Hit Carson off 2 times, so that's how you know that he sucks.
Yeah.
Speaking of guys that suck.
Yeah,
How about
diving
these
into guys
sits? Ed,
that
who
suck.
sucks?
Mike Evans doesn't suck, but he's going to be my sit. I don't think he sucks. Does he
Yeah, I
suck?
was gonna say these players don't look sucky. I mean, maybe yours, Alex.
That was the joke.
Corey Davis does not suck.
He's
Mike
just-
Evans
Get to that.
doesn't. This
He's
week,
just
Mike
picky.
Evans is going to suck. Mike Evans is playing against Marshawn Lattimore. And as you guys remember, probably not because you probably knew or you just don't give a fuck about our videos. Week 1, we talked about Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore's matchup. So, yeah, they match up every single week, and he gets shut down every single week against Marshawn Lattimore. So that's the reasoning with Mike Evans being a sit against the Saints. Book it.
And plus
Been a
Antonio
great bench
Brown.
Yeah, that's another key into it. I think, although they said that Brown might play 10 plays or 30 plays,
30 or
pretty wide range right there. But I think,
watch he play like 2 snaps.
yeah, possibly. Who the fuck knows? But if he gets on the field, I think Brady's going to use him more, just to, I guess, get him acclimated better. I don't really know, because he targeted him. His one game that he played in New England, he targeted him, I think, 4 times in one drive. It was wild. But yeah.
I think Brown's
Maybe
gonna
it'll-
have success there personally.
Maybe it'll take a minute. It took Gronk a few weeks.
True. All right.
Well, I've got
Brandon Royal
DJ
sucks.
Chark. He's a sit this week. I don't even know who is the quarterback again. Please tell me the name. Jake
Luton.
Luton.
Jake Luton. Oregon State.
Tell him all about
He's
Jake
a
Luton
Beaver.
because I don't know who he is.
I remember watching him in one game in which they got smushed. So
Okay.
I think he's like 6'5". He's like a big guy, so people love those big arms and big guys in the
Yeah.
NFL as quarterbacks. So
he played for a team called the Beavers. So that's interesting.
I like that team. That team's a decent.
He went from a Beaver to a Jaguar.
That is notable. That is
Yeah.
actually notable.
Let's see how the results play out. He's a predator man.
I'm gonna say not very good. And DJ Shark is gonna be a sit because I don't know what this guy is going to look like. And I could only imagine he could look horrible or
They'll probably just
many
huck 40
others.
targets Shark's way.
I mean, Shark had 7
get 40
targets the last time he played week 7 and only 1 reception. That was with their starting quarterback. So
So you're going to
not
trade him
very
with me? Or?
confident. Not trading him because I have him in Dynasty, maybe in redraft. I like Shark's Dynasty outlook. Not redraft this year, down the drain. Would be willing to trade him in redraft. Just depends.
Looking back at Alex's mascot analysis, I kind of like that. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like just thinking about that, like maybe
Wait, what?
applying mascot analysis to the incoming rookies. Like say they're coming from Alabama, the Elephants, and say they go to the Jaguars. Like nah, you ain't gonna succeed. You know what I mean? Like because you're going from Crimson Tide, which is an elephant, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And then you're going to become a predator real quick like that. I just,
Yeah,
I
how
like-
are you expected to lose all
You
that
know,
weight
but
in
if,
such a
yeah.
short off season?
exactly, yeah.
That's a whole nother wormhole. My sit of the week is Corey Davis because fuck you, Corey Davis. Moving on.
I think he's a start every week. Don't hate on Mr. Corey Davis.
Corey Davis.
What is it? 5th-year breakouts are a thing.
That guy.
Yeah, Devontae Parker.
That guy.
I'll say
Fuck that
Parker.
guy.
Devontae.
Love that man. All right,
That guy.
let's be real here. Starting
Don't do
tight end.
shit like all year, and then 3 people started against me in fantasy, and he erupts.
Oh,
Fuck you.
oh, this is emotional. We're having
Never
a
liked the guy anyway. What a horrible pick at 5 overall.
Yeah, that is pretty high. Yeah. All right. Speaking of getting taken pretty high, we got I think T.J. Hockenson was like the 5th pick or some shit last year. So
Pick
he is
8, 9.
8, 9,
He was-
somewhere.
yeah,
around.
somewhere
I
around.
think he
there.
was 8, and then Font was like 20.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like
Both first round.
Foreshadowing.
that.
Both from the same team. That also produced George Kittle. That means they're monsters. That's why we're starting Hawkinson and Font. I just did your guys'
Yeah.
entries for you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're
look
both
at that.
gods. You really just did it. That was crazy.
TJ Hawkinson, I like that start because it was between Noah Font and TJ Hawkinson for me. So, Ed,
Both Iowa Titans.
go in.
Ed, go in. Is that what you said?
Go in on TJ Hawkinson. Tell me how great he is.
TJ Hawk, he lives on the block. He
In
flying
Detroit.
right there like a flock. You know what I'm saying? He's just chilling on the dock, writing on the docket. Shout out to Election Day. You know what I'm saying? JK, you don't even know what I'm saying. I don't even know what day. You know what I'm saying? You know, filet mignon. You know what I'm saying? All right,
All right,
pass
shut the
Mike.
hell up. My start of the week is Jared Cook. Doesn't come from Iowa, South Carolina, but close enough. He's playing Tampa. He just scored like 3 straight weeks. Keep it rolling. They're going to be paying attention to Michael Thomas now that he's back, and they're going to lose Cook in the end zones for a 38-yard touchdown in the second quarter.
If Michael Thomas is even back.
Oh.
That's probably a big if because it seems like every week he gets scratched for something that had nothing to do with the previous week.
Yeah, it's like
Well, he
gets
beat up a teammate.
scratched, and then he gets punched, and then he punches, and then he gets scratched, and then punched, and then scratched.
And then he actually does get scratched, so he can't play then.
Exactly.
By the way, he'll be out there through the second quarter where Jared Cook will haul in a 38-yard receiving touchdown. You heard it here first.
38 yards.
38 yards.
That
And
was,
it's a shame because if that actually happens, no one's going to know.
I think Alex
you-
is like
if you-
Doc Brown,
I'm like, what?
the dude from
Well,
what the hell is it called? Back to the Future. That's who you remind me of. The dude from Back to the Future, the older dude.
I'm going to go on a tangent for a minute, real quick tangent. I was talking to this girl once, and I forget how we got to this, but she asked me to guess her birthday, and I got it within one day. She was very concerned.
You're from the
I
future.
don't think she thought I was a time traveler. I think she thought that like I've been
stalked her?
stalking her for 3 years, and like I'm just formulating clues. Like, I think your birthday is this day. But in reality, I was just like, well, it's this.
Kind of like you.
Kinda like,
The
what?
TV show, not you.
I was gonna say,
TV.
I was just be like,
The
wait a minute,
Netflix
you just
show.
never watched that.
Where,
yeah.
I love seeing, like
Rick
clips
and
of
Morty.
people like making fun of how he'd be like walking along and looking at some. You'd have to watch the show. I don't know if either one of you have.
I have not personally.
Oh man,
Shit,
I
all
don't
right.
great
have
show.
Netflix
It's a
anymore,
good show.
so it's not gonna happen.
All right. You guys done with the tangents? Are we on to cosines and sines?
We're
Who
on
cares
the
about six? So
I did there.
everyone knows six.
I'll talk about my sit, Mike Gesicki. I don't know how you say his name. I don't know.
Gesicki.
He's just sitting.
That's why he's a sit. We don't even know his fucking name.
Yeah, he's just sitting. He's just sitting on the bench, and he's out of here. So, Brandon, dive into your Teddy Graham.
Yeah.
Jimmy Graham said him.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot. There seems to be a decent amount of pretty good matchups out there for tight ends this week. So why pick one with a elderly man? Go with the young ones, the young lads, like Noah Fant.
Like the solid sophomores.
Yeah, even Logan Thomas or Hayden Hurst this week. I don't mind that against Denver.
You're right.
Yeah. Before the season,
better
I
matchups.
made sure to mention multiple times how I felt that we were getting a deeper field of tight ends, and I feel like we've gotten a deeper field of tight end performances. However, they do not line up with one guy.
No.
Like, it seems like every week there's some dickhead that scores 3 touchdowns who's never heard from again. Or like, Jordan Reed comes out and plays 1 week just to kill your whole season. Only to just fade into the IR like a cloud drifting through the sky. Pretty sure Robert Tonyan is like the 6th overall fucking tight end or something ridiculous like that, despite the fact that he's only had 3 weeks where you could be like, oh, I'm happy I started. He had 1 week where you were like, holy shit. And those guys were making fun of me for starting that guy. But I'm benching him today.
I saw
Fred Warner's going to put his ass on lock. What'd you say?
in my one league, I saw Robert Tonyan get traded to a team for Chris Godwin, and I thought it was the most insane thing. This was like week 2 or 3. I thought it was
It was probably right after he went for that like 36-point game.
It might have been.
Oh.
It could have been.
That's also kind of the reason that he has value because, like I said, we're 8 weeks in and he's provided like 3 startable weeks. But he's the tight end number 6 because 2020, man.
2020.
So far, it's fine because that trade right there would have who have actually benefited him, and I would have never guessed. I kind of want to look back in the transactions.
You know, sometimes you gotta be wrong sometimes, even if it seems obvious. Shit happens. Move
Yeah.
on.
And you move on, just like we're moving on. From the end of
Moving
this,
on from these sits.
it just starts the sits of week 9.
What's happening in a day or two?
A day or two, we're going to talk about our love and hate relationship with fantasy football, or just football in general for this year.
Let's go.
Things we love, things we hate. So,
Lighten the mood.
yeah, we're lightening the mood, and
There's
then
a lot of hatred.
harshening the mood. Yeah, there is a lot of hatred involved. I was thinking about
Yeah.
putting like double the hatred, but I didn't.
I have more hate than love
60%
right now.
more hatred.
Or 4/6 of hate compared to 2/6 of love. All right, that bids us adieu. As First Choice Fantasy, we are heading out. Like, comment, share, subscribe. Deuces.
That's it.